RIP Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered. Today, our team members received a cease and desist order on behalf of Activision Publishing in relation to the H2M mod project. We are complying with this order and shutting down all operations immediately and permanently. It's a great day to be a COD fan. Funny story about that little meme that I just played for you guys. I made that back in 2023, but now it's even more relevant than ever. Before we dive into this extremely sad video, I do want to at least thank the team, the people who worked on the H2M mod. Thank you for working so hard over the last year or two. I don't know exactly how long it took, but thank you guys so much for making the Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered mod. It's insane that they were able to create such an amazing mod, such an amazing client. And unfortunately, it is permanently shut down now. It's not ever going to release. I do want to at least start the video by thanking them for working on this project and taking so much time and effort to make it possible. Although Activision doesn't want it to be possible. I'm sitting here trying to record this video and I'm shaking. I feel so pissed off, but at the same time, I feel too defeated to actually be mad. I'm just more disappointed than anything. Look, Activision, at least have some class. At least, you know, take us out to dinner, maybe take us to a movie and then take us back to the house and have some wine before you royally fuck us. Oh my God, how am I gonna make this video? Before we talk about H2M, let's back it up to Modern Warfare 2, the original from 2009. The game was incredible. It was a broken, over-the-top, goofy, fun, casual, dumb multiplayer Call of Duty game. A lot of people fell in love with it. There were a lot of different sub-communities that were born from this game. Most notably, Trickshotting and FaZe Clan. For a lot of us, Modern Warfare 2 was the game that really introduced a lot of people to gaming content on YouTube. It's what really kind of blew up Call of Duty as this extremely popular game on YouTube back then. There's pretty much this visceral connection between Modern Warfare 2 and the content that was being made back then and even still being made to this day by some communities. But regardless about how you feel about Modern Warfare 2 as a game, one thing cannot be denied. It's one of the most iconic games in gaming history. The MLG memes that came from the game, the intervention itself as a weapon, no Russian. The mind-blowing soundtrack that was made by Hans Zimmer and Lorne Balfe. This was a Call of Duty game that was made with passion from head to toe. So what does Activision think about that, right? Well, they remastered the campaign, and they apparently remastered Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, but they never actually released it. They've been sitting on it for I don't even know how many years now, but apparently they did fully develop and create Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer remastered. And we never got it. And what's the magic reason for why they never did it? No one knows. There are some theories floating out there that they never released it because they didn't want to split the player bases, and they did apparently see this happen with Modern Warfare Remastered, you know, Call of Duty 4 Remastered, and Infinite Warfare. Oh, but please, for the love of God, open your eyes. Infinite Warfare's trailer was one of the most disliked videos on YouTube. People were getting sick of EXO Call of Duty games at that point in time. And the reason why it split the player base so heavily is because Modern Warfare Remastered and Infinite Warfare are two very different games. It is a guarantee that people who will enjoy Modern Warfare Remastered and people who will play and enjoy Infinite Warfare, they're basically two different groups of people. Myself included. Back then, I had like 16 plus days on Modern Warfare Remastered by the time the full year was over, and I had less than 2 days on Infinite Warfare. So yeah, of course, something like that is going to split the player base. But look where we are now. The current Call of Duty experience is Modern Warfare 3 2023, and the year right before that, we had Modern Warfare 2 2022. What are we doing? Why not just remaster Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer and release it? Like, you have everything right there. There have been countless stories of the devs being burnt out, of people having to be let go, or of people quitting because they are given such short time frames to work on and develop and make these games. But you have the game right there. You have Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered sitting around doing shit. I've got to breathe. My hands are shaking. Okay, I'm gonna try to say this calmly. Why not just, I don't know, sort of take a break for once, and then just remaster an older Call of Duty game and release that? It's very clear, very apparent that that's what people want. But here's the catch. Here's what's funny about this. We have a brand new Call of Duty game coming out later this year. You might have heard about it. It's called Black Ops 6. They've put millions and millions of dollars into the marketing and the advertising for this game. Black Ops 6 is going to be a very big Call of Duty game this year, at least from what we know. Meanwhile, H2M and, you know, Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam, which, by the way, you had to own the game in order to play this. Yeah, the sales were going up, and it was one of the highest selling games on Steam, which I would have assumed would be a good thing for Activision, but I guess not, because they decided to kill H2M. But even then, there were like, what, a couple thousand people on Modern Warfare Remastered waiting in anticipation for H2M? compared to the millions and millions of people that have most likely pre-ordered Black Ops 6 at this point? What are we doing? What are we doing? The team that's been working on H2M for the last year or two, they're not doing this because they want to outpace you or outsell you. They're not trying to compete with you. They're just trying to release the project, the multiplayer that we've been wanting remastered for so long, because Activision, Call of Duty, you guys are not doing it. And dude, the thing that I still just cannot get over is the fact that they're selling your game for you. They were selling copies of Modern Warfare Remastered on PC for you. They're making you money. They were not making any money as a result of this. They didn't take donations. They didn't charge anyone anything. It was all free on their end, but it was selling copies for Activision. Copies for a game that, by the way, on Steam is not safe to play. A ton of these older Call of Duty games on PC are not actually safe to play. If you try to play on these servers, they still use a peer-to-peer connection, which can lead to all kinds of vulnerabilities. There's RCE and RAT exploits, there's DDoSing, there's IP grabbing. It is generally unsafe to play a lot of these older Call of Duty games on PC, and the people who have been working on these clients, they are the ones that are actually keeping it alive. They're the ones that are keeping us safe, not Activision. They're not putting any people, any money, any resources into any of this stuff at all. But what makes this situation even more scummy is the fact that Modern Warfare Remastered from Activision, by the way, they put that shit on sale for 50% off until August 14th. 2 days before H2M was going to officially drop. And guess what? The day before the mod was going to be released, that's when they sent the cease and desist. That's when all of this stuff happened. Wow, guys. I mean, that's just an amazing look, isn't it? What is this shit? Like, are we supposed to thank them because you only got half ripped off because you only had to spend $20 on the game instead of $40? Listen very closely to the words I'm about to say. If you bought Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam and you have less than 2 hours played, you can get a full refund for the game. Go ahead and do that right now if you haven't. And if you did play more than 2 hours, still try to reach out to Steam support because in some cases, you can still get a refund. If you're one of those COD players who put in more than 2 hours and you recently bought the game, make sure to let Steam support know that the game has all kinds of exploits and that it's unsafe to play on PC, and you might be able to get a refund. Now look, man, I already bought the game years ago. I'm not gonna get a refund. There's no way that would be possible. But man, oh man, is there something nasty brewing on Steam, and that would be the reviews for Modern Warfare Remastered as a result of all of this stuff happening. At the time of recording this video, the recent reviews for Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam are overwhelmingly negative. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people leaving negative reviews because of what just happened. Now, since this has obviously royally pissed me and a lot of other people off, I do want to try to breathe and take a step back for a second and just reflect on the situation, because it's not our first rodeo. We've seen this happen before. It happened with SM2 last year. It also happened with S1X and IW4X and also IW6X. It was just all of X Labs. All of that stuff was taken down. It got cease and desisted from Activision, and it also subsequently led to the closure of the boy client as well. I'm not personally shocked or surprised that something like this would happen. I just felt like it was not going to happen though. I had conversations with the H2M staff, the people who actually worked on this project, and they were very careful this time around. They took the precautions necessary to make sure that something like this would not happen. And it happened anyway, because guess what? That's what Activision can do. They can kill off any fun fan-made community project because they're Activision, because that's what they can do. I'm not over here crying. I'm not surprised that it happens. I'm just disappointed that it did because they didn't need to do this. Even though SM2 and H2M, X Labs, Boy Clients, whatever it may be, even though these are all cool projects, it's still not a brand new Call of Duty experience. It's not going to truly compete with the millions upon billions of dollars that Activision has to make brand new Call of Duty games and support them and market them and advertise them. It's just never going to happen. Those games, those modded clients will never actually overtake what they're doing. It's not serious competition. It's just allowing us, the OG fans of the older Call of Duty games, to go back and have fun and play these games, especially safely on PC. Over the last week or so when I've been streaming, I've had a lot of people come into my chat and ask me, Eric, what do you think about the possibility of H2M being shut down? And every single time someone was asking that question, I said that it is possible, but I feel like it's unlikely because you had to own Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam. It's a net positive for Call of Duty and Activision because people were buying their game. Unfortunately, back then, there were some mistakes being made with X Labs as well as SM2. In the case of X Labs, one of the biggest mistakes that was happening back then, specifically for like S1X and Advanced Warfare, is that there was a command that you could use to unlock basically all of the micro DLC that was in the game. You know, anything that you could get out of a supply drop, whether that was, you know, like legendary variants or even the cosmetics as well. You didn't have to pay anything for that. You could just type in one little command and get all of it for free, which by the way was fucking awesome. And I loved that that was a feature. But obviously, Activision is not going to like that. Because realistically, on the original Advanced Warfare, if you wanted to get all of the supply drop weapons and all of the cosmetics, You would be spending thousands upon thousands of dollars to even get a chance of getting all of that stuff.
Which, by the way, some people might consider that to be, oh, I don't know, unethical.
Whoa, who said that? That's just completely false, man. I mean, this is coming from the company that put Modern Warfare Remastered on a 50% off sale and then rug pulled us before H2M could even be released. Yay. But even though I'm trying to conjure up some jokes to try to lighten the mood and not be as depressed, we need to go back and talk about SM2 because back then, they were requiring ownership of the original Modern Warfare 2 in order to actually play SM2. And I think it was roughly 50,000 people had actually bought the original Modern Warfare 2 to play SM2. But unfortunately, the team back then kind of made a pretty big mistake because they were getting very ambitious with SM2. The project was growing and growing, and they were not able to contain it to the original Modern Warfare 2 engine, so they wanted to switch to the Modern Warfare Remastered engine. And in doing so, that would have required people to purchase Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam. And back then, they felt bad asking all of those people to have to buy another old Call of Duty game on PC, so they implied that if you were going to play and download SM2, that you wouldn't have to own the game on Steam, and that was a big misstep, and ultimately that's what led to SM2 being shut down. Again, I'm just the guy that plays and posts Call of Duty. I don't work on these projects. I don't know the ins and outs, and I wasn't sent a cease and desist letter, so I don't know exactly why it was shut down. But back then, after that blog post came out, that's when the cease and desist came out, so I think it's safe to assume that that's probably why it happened. But in the case of H2M, things were different. They learned from their mistakes over all of these years, and all you were going to have to do in order to play this client was 1, buy Modern Warfare Remastered on Steam, and then 2, download the client, and that's it. Just, run it, get it set up, and then you play the game. That's all you had to do. There was no encouraging of piracy. They were not stealing anything from Activision or Call of Duty. It was so cut and dry. It was so simple. We had it right there. And then it was taken away from us. But there is another big difference between SM2 and H2M. SM2 never really actually got released. No one really got to play it aside from the developers and the people testing the game. I never got to play SM2. It looked incredible. And we were watching its development change and grow over years. And then it got shut down. And before this, we didn't even have any other kind of like client shutdowns or Call of Duty game shutdowns aside from, maybe Call of Duty Online, the Chinese Call of Duty game. This was the first time we saw anything like this happen. So it was a massive shock back then, but now we're kind of accustomed to this. And this is really what I want to try to drive home at this point. If you're a developer or, someone who is really passionate about Call of Duty and you're thinking about, modding the games or working on stuff like this, maybe consider not doing that. Take your talents somewhere else, or maybe take your talents to Activision. Activision, if you're seeing this, anyone at Call of Duty, if you're seeing this, maybe consider hiring these people because they are extremely passionate and they're able to create something fucking awesome. Please hire them, give them some work, pay them for their talents, please. By sending them cease and desist letters and strong arming them into stopping their projects, you're kind of killing the fun. Okay, now that I've had more of a chance to breathe, I do want to say this to Activision because I know that there's a pretty good chance that they could be watching this because I was invited to Treyarch to play Black Ops 6 early, so there is always the chance that they could be seeing this. Just look, man. There are so many amazing older Call of Duty games that you guys have created. You could simply give the developers a little bit of a break by allowing them to remaster an existing game, a game that people absolutely loved and cherished from back then. There are so many people that are dying for a remaster of Worlds at War, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, maybe even Black Ops 3, even though it's, only about a decade old. There are numerous examples of older Call of Duty titles that we would just simply want to see remastered, and we would pay good money for it, and you can still tweak it a little bit. You can add your bundles and supply drops, whatever you gotta do to make some extra money. We still ate it up on Modern Warfare Remastered because it was done tastefully, because it was done right. Because at the end of the day, if you guys are not going to officially do it, there's going to be other people, there's going to be other teams out there that wants to do it. And you're just continuing to stifle their creativity, their drive. What does that do for us? What is it really doing for any of us, right? The biggest disconnect between Activision and Call of Duty and us, the fans, the players, is the fact that they are looking at two things as the biggest driving forces for the success of Call of Duty as a franchise, and that is player retention and money earned. Whereas we as the community, we don't care about that. The people who make these mods, they don't care about that either. We're just out here trying to have fun. We just want fun Call of Duty games. It's that simple, man. And if you can deliver that, if you can be part of the good vibes, then we're on board with that. We're going to be happy. There's a reason why so many people are speaking up about this and getting pissed off and sharing those opinions with you. It's because we fucking care, dude. And every single time these clients get shut down, it's killing people's motivation. It's killing their love for Call of Duty. All over Twitter today, which I know that Twitter is obviously overtly negative, but even on my YouTube comments and stuff, I've seen it basically everywhere at this point. People are saying, boycott Call of Duty, hashtag boycott COD, boycott Black Ops 6. Yeah, that's gonna do a lot. Totally worked out last year when SM2 was shut down, right? Everyone was saying to boycott Call of Duty back then. That does nothing. What you need to do instead is stop surrendering, stop accepting defeat, and just crawling back into a cave and playing a different game. We need to stand up and simply just voice our opinions and share that with Call of Duty and with Activision, because that's the only thing that we really can do at the end of the day. If you boycott the game and you quit playing, that does nothing, because like I said at the start of the video, there's like a couple thousand people that wanted to play H2M, right? It's very small compared to the millions of people that are going to be playing Black Ops 6 day one, especially because of the Xbox Game Pass stuff. There is a reason why these newer Call of Duty games have such strong skill-based matchmaking and engagement-optimized matchmaking. It's to make sure that the casuals, the people that don't watch these videos, that don't watch streams, that don't go on the internet and look up stuff about Call of Duty, it's to make sure that those people will still play and enjoy the games and potentially spend money on microtransactions. Whereas we, the hardcore Call of Duty players who do engage with all of this stuff, who can clearly see through all of the bullshit, we know the difference. We really know what's going on behind the scenes with Call of Duty and what's also happening, you know, right out in the open, like the cease and desists. We get it. But since you're here and you're watching this video right now, I know that you are more intelligent than the average Call of Duty player. You're someone who is more engaged, and you're actually here listening to all of the minutia about Call of Duty. So I want to leave you guys with this. Just because this happened, don't quit Call of Duty, don't boycott Call of Duty, because guess what? That's not going to do anything. They are still going to be making games year over year. They're going to be making a shit ton of money, and even if you think that boycotting it or quitting it is going to stop anything from happening, it's not. What that's actually potentially going to do is make other games more popular, which means that Call of Duty is going to be less like itself and continue to copy the competition because they're now getting outpaced. Ever since Fortnite came out, this is exactly what's been happening with Call of Duty, and what we really need to do instead is just continue to voice our concerns and our opinions and share that with them. And even if nothing changes, and even if they don't do any of those things, at least we tried. I just can't stand this mentality that we need to quit or boycott Call of Duty like that's gonna somehow magically fix everything. Let's just quit. Let's just give up, guys. That's gonna do a lot, right?
Actually, when I saw the announcement of H2M, I made sure to go all over the internet and tell people that this was gonna get shut down by Activision because I'm just so much smarter than everyone.
Solid detective work there, buddy. We never saw this coming. We never would have thought that they could have, I don't know, exercise their rights with their IP. Of course, shutting down H2M was always a possibility, but it just felt like the probability was lower because the team was actually doing things very clean this time around. But yeah, man, it just kind of feels like I'm going in circles at this point. So thank you guys very much for watching and listening to what I had to say. If you agree with anything that I said in this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you want to see some Black Ops 6 stuff when that comes out, because I will be playing it, because I do still love and support Call of Duty regardless of all this shitty stuff happening. It's just so stupid, man. Like, I was so looking forward to just being able to play and enjoy this mod until the Black Ops 6 beta and until the release of Black Ops 6. Like, we could have just had this in tandem, but the dream's dead now. So press F to pay respects, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Fuck!